Decade goes by without a war. There's still a kindness in your eye. Amidst the questions and the worries, a peace of mind always takes me by surprise. Feel like I'm walking by the spine. My imagination is the best of me, and I'm trying to hide the lost at sea. What would I do without the difference between what I've said and done? You're still standing by my side. Guilty, so I would never find home.
Milo, come here, Milo! Milo, come here!
Oh yeah.
You got my nostrils, Milo!
Go ahead.
You ready for this?
You got the morning, I got the midnight. You are me, I'm always on time.
Milo, come here! Here I am!
What would I do without you?
Good boy!
You got your sunshine, I got rain clouds. You got home, I got my doubts. What would I do without you?
Moon stroke the fox
What
kissing.
would I do without you?
Sorry.
You go in, the wrinkles go down.
What would I do without you?
Starts us all right. Do we want to be quiet? Where's the song?
You want to go to the song?
Okay. Is the song ready to go on?
It's on.
Well, I need to start it again because I don't think they were ready.
Sometimes I wake up and sad, feels like madness. What would I do without you? Colors turn to shades of gray with the weight of the world at the end of the day. What would I do without you? A decade goes by without a warning. There's still a kindness in your eye. Amidst the questions and the worry, a peace of mind always takes me by surprise. I feel like I'm walking with eyes as blind as a man without a lantern in a coal mine. What would I do without you? My imagination gets the best of me, and I'm trying to hide, lost at sea. What would I do without you? The difference between what I've said and done. You're still standing by my side. Guilty soul and a worried mind. I would never make it if I'm on my own.
So pretty!
You got the morning, I got the midnight. You are late, I'm always on time. What would I do without you? You got your sunshine, I got rain clouds. You got hope, I got my doubts. So What would I do without you? Oh, what would I do without you? Oh, what would I do without you?
Oh, hi, honey. Here, Mia. Fluff me. Fluff me. Go. Oh.
Okay, Steve.
Oh, okay. Oop, you don't have an umbrella. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to watch not to put anybody's eyes out. Listen.
Thank you for getting rained on.
Please sit, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Ooh. The dogs have their own seats.
Okay.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Stephen Redhead, and I happen to be Philip's father.
Is your arm going down?
I'd like to thank you all for travelling here today, whether locally, from farther afield in the US, or from the UK, to join together with us to celebrate together Philip and Steffi's wedding. I'd like to add, just before we start, a personal note. Barbara and I have been here for a few days now, and I would like to thank you all for the wonderful welcome you've extended to both us and to our family. It's really been terrific. It really made us feel at home. I feel I should also apologise for the weather. But after all, it is your weather, so I'm not taking any responsibility for that.
What's Grandma?
You will have to bear. Can everybody hear all right? Sorry, I'm not. Don't normally speak in the microphone. You will have to bear with me. I have never been a marriage commissioner before. This situation is just not possible in the United Kingdom. So this is a new experience for me. Probably for you as well, to be honest, by the time we're finished. But I am very honoured to have been asked, and I am a little bit nervous because of it. We'll just plough on through.
Something between us.
For us, this all started in spring 2012, when Philip finished with university and, sitting bored at home one night, decided he would go down into the local village to see who his friends were about. To cut a long story short, he came home later that night and said he was wanting to go to China to work. Well, as you do, I suppose. So, in very short order, actually, all the arrangements were made, and off he went. Little did we know that 4,222 miles away, in a Mexican restaurant, Steffi and her family were having a similar conversation, and she surprised them all by making a sweeping declaration that she too was moving abroad. And so, seemingly on a whim for both of them, the story began. The first we knew of Steffi was about a year later, when Philip was on holiday in the Guilin region of China, and some photographs were emailed to us of a shyly smiling, beautiful young lady whose name was Steffi Anderson. Phil later called us up and said he was intending to bring Steffi on our annual Christmas skiing holiday. Well, at that point we knew it was serious. So, a little background here. Phil is an avid skier and even spent a season working in Austria as a ski instructor. So he is a little bit better than some of us. So every Christmas we would all take our turn doing a ski run with Philip. There was often more terror than pleasure, to be perfectly honest. Sarah, his sister, is a good skier and she can run with him, but not every day. So we were more than a little bit delighted when we heard that this girl was coming who not only knew how to ski, but was equally skillful and equally adventurous as Philip. So it meant that Barbara and I could retreat to a little mountain cafe somewhere for coffee and cake and leave Steffi and Phil to get on with it and not feel in the least guilty about it. Well, time moves on, and Philip duly returned to England, and Steffi followed him. Both finding work in Newcastle upon Tyne, which is our hometown in the north of England. And now, 3 years on from their first meeting, here we are at the beginning of a new chapter in their lives as they take together the vows of marriage. Redhead is an Anglo-Scottish name, and it's nickname based, and you're probably ahead of me here. It means those with red hair. It's a fairly common trait in the lowlands of Scotland and the hills of Northumberland. A little bit of history. A certain Christopher Redhead, an early emigrant to America, was recorded in a census of those living in the colony of Virginia on February the 16th of 1623. So we are not the first redheads to arrive. Anderson is also Anglo-Scottish and is derived from the name Andrew, who is the patron saint of Scotland. One Archibald Anderson settled in America, having sailed from Glasgow in Scotland, bound for Utah in May 1864. He married a lady called Caroline Johnson, and these are Steffi's great-great-grandparents. I, as a redhead, coincidentally also married an Anderson, my lovely wife Barbara, and that was some 37 years ago now. So here we have history repeating itself. Another Anderson becoming a redhead, and another family starting life here in Alaska. Thank you.
It's
You
beautiful.
okay? You okay, you two?
Yeah.
Yeah? Shall we just go for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. It's coming.
Right. I'd now like to move on to the ceremony itself. And we'll get you out of the rain just as quick as we possibly can. Dearly beloved and honoured guests, we are gathered here today to join Steffi and Philip in the spiritual union of marriage. This contract is not to be entered into lightly, but thoughtfully and seriously, and with a deep realization of its obligations and responsibilities. Personally, I have found in my marriage that sharing, equality and tolerance are the most important elements. No one is good at everything. Use the individual strengths and talents of each other to benefit the partnership, and accept and compromise where necessary for each other's weaknesses. Remember that love, loyalty and understanding are the foundations of a happy and enduring home. So, at this point you need to shed your bouquet and take hands. Now, I'm pretty sure you're going to do that with the umbrella. Are you okay there, Phil?
Yeah, I'm good.
So, Philip, do you take Steffi to be your lawfully wedded wife? Will you love her, comfort her, honour and protect her, and, forsaking all others, be faithful to her as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Steffi, do you take Philip to be your lawfully wedded husband? Will you love him, comfort him, honour and protect him, and, forsaking all others, be faithful to him as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Philip, repeat after me, please.
We'll speak up.
Just face me a little bit. I, Philip Edward Redhead,
I, Philip Edward Redhead,
take you, Steffi K. Anderson,
take you, Steffi K. Anderson,
to be my wife,
to be my wife,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part.
till death us do part.
Steffi, please repeat after me. I, Steffi K. Anderson,
I, Steffi K. Anderson,
take you, Philip Edward Redhead,
take you, Philip Edward Redhead,
to be my husband,
to be my husband,
to have and to hold,
to have and to hold,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer or poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
till death us do part.
till death us do part.
Thank you. You can loosen hands.
I was pretty content.
Do we have wedding rings?
Ooh. No, don't switch. Oh, yeah.
Right. You take Steffi's left hand in your hands, Philip. Okay. The wedding ring is the outward and visible symbol of the inward union of two people. As it encircles the finger, so should love encircle your hearts and bind you together in love and understanding. So Philip, please repeat after me. With this ring I thee wed,
With this ring I thee wed,
and with it I pledge my honour, my love and devotion.
and with it I pledge my honour, my love and devotion.
Take it off.
I hope Jerry can get that other ring off his little finger.
That was it.
That was a little one.
Steffi, please repeat after me. With this ring I thee wed,
With this ring I thee wed,
and with it I pledge my honour, my love and devotion.
and with it I pledge my honor and love and devotion. It's never coming off.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now that Philip and Steffi have exchanged wedding vows before me and those present, and have given a pledge of fidelity to each other, under the authority vested in me by the state of Alaska,
Big moment.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Oh, you're wet. All right. Okay. All right. We're going. Yes. Go hide and drink.
Sometimes I wake up with the sadness of the days. It feels like madness. So what would I do without you? Colors turn to shades of gray. The weight of the world at the end of the day. What would I do without you? A decade goes by without a warning. There's still a kindness in your eye. Amidst the questions and the worry, a peace of mind always takes me by surprise.
Okay. They said I have to say a few things. I'm Stephen. There's two Stephens here. I'm the father of the bride, and I am the father of the bride. And I'm also the guy that had all kinds of wonderful wedding ideas. I did. No one asked my opinion, so there they sit. They made me chief groundskeeper, and so I've been working really hard on this. How's the grass? How's the lawn? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I want to thank every one of you for coming, and I look around and I see all of Steffi's friends and the bridesmaids and the groomsmen and all good people. Our kids have been really blessed with wonderful friends, and that goes a long way to lead them in good directions. Cindy is the wedding planner. She is the wedding planner. Yeah. So. And so we have been very glad to host the Redheads, and Stephen and Barbara have been here for 10 days now, and they came and just jumped right into the work. And these things are a lot of work. Thank you guys, because they've been doing it, and Philip and all have been doing so much. But I do want to thank all of you, because I look around and I see a whole bunch of my family, and I see a bunch of my hunting and fishing partners and golfing partners, and a lot of the people we've grown up with, old neighborhood friends, new neighborhood friends, business partners. So thank you all for coming. I do need to mention Donald and Diane. Where are Donald and Diane? There they are. Yeah, they made the trip from England, and we thank them for doing that. Donald is Barbara's brother, and we're glad to have them. Sarah and Dean. Over here, Sarah and Dean, Phil's sister and her husband, and they've been working for the last 3 or 4 days. I do want to mention my family also. My brother Bob, beautiful wife Mary, and their 3 sons, and their sons' wives, and their 5 grandchildren. So they brought up 13. They've got 4 motorhomes, so they've been touring around. They do. There's 3 motorhomes over there. One down in Carl's driveway. And this one up here that's the 5th one. That's my brother Roger. And Roger brought his entire family up. So thank you, family, for showing up. Talking about family, I got to tell you how important it is that the brothers and sisters are supporting. We've got Alicia and Jerry. Jerry built the trellis out here. Jerry helps us with all kinds of stuff. Alicia helps us with all kinds of support. There's a rumor going around, I don't know, that they may be giving us another gift. Adam is Adam around? There's Adam. Okay. Adam is a rock. He's a really good kid and doing a lot of important things. We're going to enjoy his wedding cake that he made. He's really good at that. And making some sticky toffee pudding. Pudding. It's kind of an English dish, I think. But Adam made that. Sam's been helping out all over the place, and our resident comedian. So Sam's been helping. Where's Sam?
I don't know where's Sam. Oh, there.
There's Sam. Steffi has always been a delight and a real ball of fire. And any of you know Steffi, you know that's true. I've had a major problem with Steffi for a long, long time. I need to expose that because she talks so fast, and she starts laughing halfway through every sentence. That she and I don't understand each other. I don't understand her very much at all. So we have to find ways of communicating to the heart because I can't understand her words. I've never understood her. I think she gets that from her mom too. I don't understand her much either. When Steffi was in the 3rd grade, her teacher called us in and said, you know, Steffi with her dyslexia, she's dyslexic, she said, there's no reason why if she tries really, really hard, she can't be an average student. She could be a C student.
Really nice.
Wow, that was like kicking a racehorse right in the butt. Because she accepted the challenge, and her grades got better and better, and she got all A's all the way through high school, and she all the way through college. And she graduated with 2 degrees from University of Nevada, Reno, in 3.5 years.
Woo!
With honors. With honors. We always told our kids, if you want to see the world, experience the world, then you ought to do it before adulthood creeps up on you and makes you all responsible and everything. Steffi took the bait. And of course, Cindy and I were thinking of, a couple of months in South America or Europe or something like that. She's been gone for 4 years now, this fall. And so she really took the bait and again the racehorse. I mean, she does things with a lot of exuberance. So she studied in Europe. She did 14, 15 months in China teaching English, and
Quickly. Very quickly. My children speak very fast.
Yeah, so if you speak Chinese people that speak very, very quickly, they were probably Steffi's students. Good one, dear. Did that, and then for the last couple of years has been in Newcastle on the Tyne, a beautiful city, the home city of the parents, and in northern England, and so she's back here now. Along the way, over in China, as you kind of heard, and Stephen said, she met a good-looking guy named Philip in Beijing, and Cindy and I went over to visit her, and we were taking a large group of her mates, her fellow teachers and friends, out to dinner, and it was pretty apparent that as we had dinner and then we're trying to negotiate to the hot spots around town and through the traffic and everything, there was somebody that had an eagle eye over her. It was like the avenging angel watching out for her. And that turned out to be Philip, and that's the first time I met him, but there was no doubt about it that he kind of liked the girl, because he was watching out for her very, very carefully. after China, Philip and Steffi ended up teaching at the same school in northern England, and work visas for foreigners in England are nearly, they're impossible to get. Barbara, thank you. she got Steffi a work visa, and that was pretty amazing thing. But allowed her to teach school with troubled kids over in the English area in northern England, and she was very good at it. And they really enjoyed having her over there. Philip, teaching with her, he's a professional educator, a teacher, and third generation now. And we find Philip to be, he's visited, we visited, we've toured together, we've partied together, and we're very, very happy with Philip. We think he's just a fine man.
Woo!
You bet. Yeah, he's very cool-headed. He's competitive. Most importantly, he wants to give Alaska a try and have this as home for a while. And so that's very important. Most of all, I can just see he really loves my daughter. So, welcome everybody, and it's so good to see you all. Advice for the newlyweds: I don't know. You just got to go through it. all I can say is you just try and be nice to one another every day. Just be nice, and that's what I've got. So, thanks a lot, everybody. A toast to the newlyweds. Cheers. Philip and Stephanie.
No, I think you can.
Philip?
Hello. Oh, God. I'm not really used to speaking into one of these things. Good afternoon, everyone. If you don't know who I am, I'm Sarah, I'm Philip's sister. And I just want to start by, on behalf of my family, thanking Steve and Cindy for hosting, and just saying thank you to everybody who's put so much work into making this such a special day for my brother and his new wife, Steffi. So I've got a message from Finn, one of our groomsmen, to start off with, which I think is a good start. Congrats, buddy. I'm so excited for you both. I will tell you some of the best advice I've gotten from my father-in-law at my wedding. Happy wife, happy life. Just something to think about. So I've known and loved my little brother for all of his life, through the occasional tantrums, getting each other into trouble, shared chucking incidents. It's not necessarily been a smooth relationship, but he's always been there to help me, to comfort me. I've always wanted a sister too. Now it's lovely to have a part sharing one who's so kind and bubbly as Steffi. I knew I was going to do this. I knew this was a bad idea. So we are a long way from home. It's 4,222 miles, as my dad said. from our home city of Newcastle to Anchorage, although your beautiful weather is exactly what we're used to. So what's brought us all this way, to cross oceans and continents to the other side of the world? Well, my dad talked earlier about my brother's skiing ability, and I feel the need to elaborate on that since I was almost always the one who was sent up the mountain with him and down again in all sorts of situations. We very quickly developed a saying in my family: don't follow Philip. Here we are in Alaska, though, with him. We never really stuck to it very well. But I do remember following him down or off different runs on many occasions, only to find myself stuck on narrow cliff edges he had to help me down from, or down holes that we then had to get climbed out of. And as new people joined us for our family skiing trips, we gave them fair warning that this was going to happen. As my now husband, Dean, started coming along and learning to ski himself, we said to him, whatever you do, don't follow Philip. We had been intending to say the same thing to Steffi, only to find on our first skiing trip together, when we got to the top of a particularly dangerous looking run, that she'd actually jumped off ahead of us and Philip was following her. We've seen them have so much fun together on our family holidays, most notably skiing in animal onesies. I particularly remember the chicken suit and the cow suit going down the mountain, and of course getting engaged in their beloved mountain setting. And this sums up the adventurous spirit that they both share. Having both travelled separately to China, where they would meet, an amazing adventure in itself, then Steffi taking the plunge and moving to England, it's no surprise to me that Anchorage is the next stop on their world tour together. They share a love of nature and all the fun it can offer, and good food and good company. Philip has always loved sports and the outdoors, so I know he'll fit right in here. My brother was known for being just a little bit grumpy from time to time, but Steffi, I've never seen him as happy as he is when he's with you. Sorry. You bring out his smiles, his laughter, and his joy in life. It's been great having you with us in England. Know that you'll always be welcome back there and in our family. Philip, I thought I was being adventurous marrying someone from the south of England, but you always have to go on. So seriously, you have chosen a beautiful place with lovely people and the love of your life. So I'm confident in wishing you every happiness and long lives together. Please raise your glasses with me in a toast to the bride and groom, Philip and Steffi Redhead.
Yes.
Thank you. I knew I was going to go.
Thank you very much. That was lovely. Thank you. Love you. Love you.
Really well done. Should have seen her at our wedding.
That was so sweet. You guys have such a wonderful family, and welcome to Alaska. I'm Kara. For any of you that don't know me, I'm Steffi's cousin. I have some things to say on behalf of all of the bridesmaids, so congratulations, you two. I have not read what's in these envelopes yet, so I'm not to be held responsible for what they might say. So, this one, I'm pretty sure this is Katie. No. No, Chelsea. Okay, this one's from Chelsea. Okay, one of my favorite memories with Steffi was when we drove to Seward and we had both just recently broken up with someone. We were listening to Adele and being sad, as Steffi put it. After Adele was over, we both talked about how something better must be coming. Shortly after that, I met my husband when I was out one night with Steffi, and shortly thereafter, she left for China. The rest is history, and I look forward to making many new memories with Steffi and Phil. Phil, welcome to Alaska. We are so excited to have you. I told them to put their names on them, but
No one did that.
this one's stuck in there. Okay, I think this one's Katie. Yes. Katie typed hers. So now if I mess up reading, it's my own fault. Okay. I can still remember like yesterday when we were younger and would root through your mom's boxes of old books for the good romance novels. Your favorites were always those set in medieval England or Scotland, with brawny, dark-haired men named Lachlan or Alistair. Lachlan. So it comes as no surprise that you had to travel a world away to find your match, as no one here could ever measure up to the heroes in your books. And while his name might be a bit more common, I am so happy that you have found your prince in Philip. I love you and wish you both the best. XOXO Katie. Next is Lacey. Lacey really wanted to read hers aloud herself. Just kidding. All right. As everyone here already knows, Steffi always speaks her mind, with no filter, and is more often than not brutally honest. That is why I know what she says to me to be the truth, or at least her version of it. The day that she asked me if I knew what happened when you stayed single too long, I thought to myself, I better listen up. This is going to be good. She says, you have to move to China, of course. Like I said, her version of the truth, and reality for that matter. I think it must have been all the romance novels she's read. But it certainly worked for Steffi. Phil is most definitely her main character, and their story is a classic. They meet in China, fall in love, move to England, get engaged, and finally ending up in Alaska to be married and live happily ever after. No matter where life may take them. Hopefully nowhere, if I'm letting myself be honest. I love having these two home where they belong. Congratulations, Steffi and Phil. Cheers. Next one is from Alicia, her sister. Steffi is a very clean person, but if you know her well, you know that things tend to explode around her, like closets, cupboards, bathrooms, etc. She leaves a trail of breadcrumbs wherever she goes, except they aren't breadcrumbs, but books, makeup, curling irons, mirrors, and anything else you can think of. I will never forget the time when Steffi and I were in high school, and my dad came barging into her room one night with a camera. He began walking around taking pictures of different angles of her bedroom. Steffi was screaming, "What are you doing, Dad?" He responded by saying he was taking pictures as proof to show her future husband because, quote, "I don't know who would ever marry you." To be fair, you could not see the floor or any other surface of her bedroom, ever. The first time I walked into Steffi and Phil's bedroom in their apartment in England, I knew that my dad would never have to show Phil his proof. I don't think Phil contributes to the general chaos that Steffi lives in, but it doesn't seem to bother him. And it brought back that memory of my dad and made me smile. It is clear to me every time I see them together just how perfect they are for each other. I did not have the fortune of knowing Phil before Steffi, but knowing Steffi as long as I have, it is clear that he has brought out the very best version of her. They are a perfect match. She is more balanced, confident, and content in everyday life. I couldn't imagine my sister happier and have come to love Phil, and I'm very grateful to have him as my brother. Aww. I went with a photo. This photo was taken at Katie and Lee's wedding. This is the moment I knew Steffi had found her husband. They were dancing to a song, and it was like someone hit the fast forward button, and these those two are just like totally in sync, like going crazy. And I thought, yeah, he's perfect for her. So I love you both. Congratulations and welcome to the family. And
Pass it around.
yeah, that's about everything. I was going to quote Claire's dad and his advice, don't be a lazy lover. Cheers, everyone.
Well, I can't pass up a chance to say a few things. Having known Steffi from birth, living next door for many years, and we've all grown to love Ollie Anderson. Love the Anderson family, and really pleased to see an addition to the neighborhood and to all of us. And I have a little bit of advice for a happy marriage. And there's 3 words that I've found in my marriage that seem to diffuse temper and kind of smooth over ruffled feathers. And those 3 words, can you imagine what they might be?
Straight away, dear.
Pretty good. It's not exactly what I had in mind. I love you are 3 words, but that's they're powerful when said with meaning. But the 3 words that will get you out of more trouble and diffuse more bad situations are, you're probably right. Congratulations.
Sebastian is taking the lead from us. Ready? Go! No, straight. Come here. It's really dense. I actually can't eat this cake. I'm allergic.
Look, don't mess up this. Look at us.
Oh my god, you're making me
Oh, come on. Don't worry, the wind. It's okay. It's okay.
1, 2, ready?
On my face.
Together.
Yeah.
Not smudging. It makes perfect.